This is Mikey.
And I'm Garrison Rifen. This is Cinema Debrief. Welcome to Cinema Debrief. I'm Garrison Rifen here alongside my co-host Mikey. How are you doing tonight, Mikey?
What is up, Garrison? I do want to mention one thing. It wasn't televised on Netflix last night, but I too was part of the card for the MVP MMA fight that was going on. I tapped out to Gina Carano in 2 seconds. So I don't know what that says about me, but she is a beast, by the way. That tap out by Gina Carano was the most ridiculous thing I've seen in a while.
Well, we've got another Gina Carano lover here on the line with us. That's one Hurricane Rhett. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, thank you for having me, Garrison and Michael. I very much appreciate it. I'm a little congested today, so you won't get my typical dulcet tones are buried beneath mounds of mucus and respiratory congestion. So this is what you get. But thank you for having me. I'm one of your esteemed listeners.
One of two.
And so now I don't know who's going to listen to this. Now that
I know. Yeah.
That's how I feel too. Yeah, when the episodes come up, I download it, and then I'm like, oh, well, do I want to listen to this right now? I'm kidding.
Exactly.
Well, it's great to have you on.
Thank you for having me. Great. I'm glad to see you guys succeeding and having a good time doing this. I'm glad to be a part of it.
Rhett, do you have any experience with MMA fighting? Have you watched it in the past?
Not much. I don't even watch very much of it. I have watched over the last few weeks most of Carano's bouts during her early her 17 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, it was a while back,
and enjoyed that in ways I'm not willing to discuss here in public. And I did watch last night, and she's gotten herself very fit. She looked tough. That armbar is a tough thing to beat, but I was hope to see her take a few swings. I think she's a better striker than Rousey, and if it had they'd stayed on their feet, maybe that could have come into play, but that's not how it went. So whatever.
It was I guess not surprising to see a big Wegovy sponsorship on her trunks.
She looks like she had, and look, maybe she just trained real hard. I don't know.
She claims she did.
But but at any rate, look, great success to her. I mean, kudos to her. That's 100 pounds since September of 2024.
That's substantial.
I've
gained that.
I've literally had to have the flu to lose any weight
right.
in the last several years. So it ain't an easy thing to do. So congratulations to her. Maybe she's gotten in shape. She seemed like she's kind of rekindled her love of life and some of these other things. I think she's been in a state of depression for some time after some of the things that she's gone through. And
that's what happens when you have to be in a Daily Wire movie.
Yeah, right. You go into a depression, or you fall out a window.
Yeah, well,
exactly.
Hey, Jonathan Majors might be pretty good in that movie.
Right.
Well, look, he's not a bad actor.
I don't know when I'll be able to see that movie, but
it's interesting that it's supposed to be a sequel to Run, Hide, Fight, is what I'm gathering.
It's the same director, right?
Yeah, and so it's supposed to be a sequel to the Isabel May
cinematic universe.
Yeah, it's his world, like Stephen King or something.
Exactly. Where just school shootings happen in every movie that he releases, apparently.
Oh.
That's what Run, Hide, Fight's about.
So it's like America.
Exactly.
All right. Sometimes this plays on radio, guys.
Oh, it does? Your dad puts it on his radio?
Radio?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm honored. I didn't know. Hey, your dad actually plugged the show last night on the Scare of Scuttlebutt podcast that he was on. So I felt like honored that he chose to plug Cinema Debrief on there. So maybe we'll have a couple of other listeners now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome. Yeah. I didn't know that. I wasn't even listening.
Yes.
When the episode comes out, I'll listen. But wasn't listening live.
I feel you. I have no life, so I had nothing better to do than watch that show live when it was airing.
Well, do you want to get to your off-the-shelf pick, Mikey?
I do want to get to my off-the-shelf pick, and for the uninitiated, and I guess we need to start mentioning this more. The concept of off-the-shelf is that these are collections that both Garrison and I have of movies that we've actually never seen in our lives. I have never seen 1 second of The Final Countdown, and I had honestly no idea what to expect. It was very 1980s, but in a good way. I enjoyed the heck out of it. I will say that it felt like I was watching an episode of some Donald P. Bellisario show. I mean, that's about the quality of what it like an episode of Jag or Quantum Leap or something. It sort of felt like that. It did. It kind of felt like that a little bit, but I thought it was interesting because like 5 years after The Final Countdown, we get Michael Douglas and Charlie Sheen in a movie with Wall Street. And then with this one, we've got Kirk Douglas and Martin Sheen. So it's pretty interesting. And I guess they were in the part of their career where they were not doing much, because this seems like an interesting movie for such big names to be a part of.
Well, Kirk wanted Michael Douglas to be in it, and he could not for scheduling reasons, so Martin Sheen came in.
So slumming it with his dad. No, I'm just kidding. So Martin Sheen took the Michael Douglas role.
Correct.
Now, Garrison, did you notice who one of the associate producers was on this?
Yes, immediately. It's the first note I wrote, produced by Lloyd Kaufman.
Lloyd Kaufman of Trauma Entertainment.
Had a cameo in it too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Okay, I missed that one.
Yeah, he was in it. He was in it for a second. Yeah, I thought that was interesting because this was apparently supposed to be his initiation into actual Hollywood films.
Okay.
This was like what he was trying to finally, not necessarily put Trauma Entertainment fully behind him, but to try and do something more mainstream. And The Final Countdown was supposed to be that film. I don't think this probably did. It's definitely more of a cult classic than anything that did financially well.
The budget's 12.5. It made 16.6, which is not great because you have P&A spending on top of that.
Now, did those numbers that you looked up include international? Like back then, do we have numbers for stuff like that?
I think international was kind of spotty back then.
I know it made like 3 million in Germany. Yeah, it made about 3 million in Germany. I think the 16 million was domestic, but it was a moderate success for what it was. I think.
Yeah.
The director? Don Taylor? I think that was his last feature film.
Yeah.
That he directed. I think he went to TV after that.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned. And I don't know where I'm not sure what you guys' flow is.
We just get into it. Open conversation. Yeah.
You're not, but you'd mentioned that it felt kind of 80s, and to me it felt very 70s. It was.
Well, yeah, I was on the cusp of
It was not quite the 80s that you remember. It was much slower paced.
Yeah.
Kind of the cinematography was kind of that previous generation. And then, just 6 years later, you had Top Gun, which is a very dynamic, frenetic movie that had a lot of the same kind of themes. And it looks, decades beyond.
Yes, it does.
Now, some of that's budget and things like that, but we had advanced considerably in our filmmaking approach, I think, and in just what are 6 very short years. That's what struck me is, and it wasn't bad. I think the flybys were interesting. The F-14s kind of in combat with the Zeros, some of the takeoffs. I mean, that was all well conceived and well shot, but it did look very much different than what we got out of like an 80s pulse pounding action type movie.
One thing that I was wondering while I was watching it is if any of those shots that they had in the film were stock footage or if that was actually shot live.
Some of it was B-roll. I think there was a missile launch that's probably stock footage that is just DOD property kind of stuff. I'm not sure of that, but it seemed like I had seen it before, so I think a lot of it was just B-roll. They did shoot on the Nimitz near the Florida Keys.
Yeah.
They did record quite a bit of aerial maneuvers and
It was good stuff.
Operations. I think the first time they tried to film a launch, the camera was pitched overboard because of the way they had it set off by jet blast.
Yeah.
So they had to rethink how they were going to shoot it. So yeah, but I think a lot of that was filmed with the support of the Navy, Department of Defense. They liked the script. They liked the way the Navy was portrayed. Used it as a recruiting tool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about the plot a little bit, just to kind of give people a picture of what this thing was? Yeah,
Garrison, go ahead.
Oh, okay, sure. The plot is that the USS Nimitz is kind of going through a storm. They're hit by this storm that's striking down lightning, and they wound up being sucked in essentially a vortex that sends them back to 1941.
Yeah, it's never really explained.
Yeah.
Like,
December, I guess, 6th, 1941, basically.
Yeah, the day before Pearl Harbor.
The day before, yeah.
And then they arrive. They don't really understand what's going on. They can't radio contact anybody. We are introduced to this yacht that contains a senator, a lady, and I don't remember what the other guy was on the ship. But,
the captain or a deckhand, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're attacked by Japanese officers as the 80s planes are patrolling and seeing this back in 1941, wanting to obviously take down these Japanese fighter pilots, which interestingly kind of gets into a moral dilemma where they don't even talk about this necessarily until later in the movie, but if they interfere with those Japanese pilots, what kind of ripple effects will that start having down the line? And they
it's
start
interesting that they would even think about that, because I don't know, they didn't really have like a scientist on board that would even think about like what time travel, what ramifications would happen if they interfered in something like that.
No,
so it was
but they did get into the grandfather paradox eventually.
Yeah.
Martin Sheen's character. Yeah. Well, yeah. So they go back in time and they're trying to figure it out. You know, they see these Zeros who make an attack on this yacht, and these F-14s. Look, once the Zeros fired on the yacht, the F-14s would have blown them out of the sky. They actually, they actually let them take a couple of passes at it before they fired, but they did. They fired, and the cinematography there was great. You get to see these F-14 Tomcats dueling with
straight up
Japanese Zeros, and now those were T6. Those were modified T6 Texans with paint jobs to make them look like Zeros, but they were very, very similar. So
looked good too, though.
Yeah, they looked great. The paint job looked great. The F-14s were flying wings extended right at stall speed to keep from overshooting these things for the shots, because they're just not. You know, this is two very different generations of aircraft going against each other. But when I was, and I've seen this movie before. I watched it as a child with my dad.
Do you remember if you saw it in a theater or at home?
No, not in the theater, but it used to. You got a lot of play on network TV and you know, TBS and things like that. So I've seen it several times, and my dad and I just love it. You know, we love the F-14 shooting down Japanese Zeros. We love it. We love it. We love it. You know? So yeah, they do that. They end up, the senator is saved. He's brought on the ship. He's terribly confused. Now, the senator was a fictional person. He's not part of real history, but I
had to look that up. He was
kind of next in line. He was going to be vice president under Roosevelt, and ultimately would be president. So now they've got this dilemma where he was killed in the original timeline, so none of those things came to pass. And now he is alive. So the crew of the Nimitz are trying to put together where are we, what do we do, and they kind of come to they come to the realization that they are the day here the Japanese attack is heading toward Pearl Harbor, and they have an opportunity to stop it. So the moral dilemma is: do we change history, or do we defend our nation with absolutely shockingly overwhelming firepower and totally destroy the Japanese military, right?
Man,
I want to see.
I wanted to see that so badly.
I know. I was of two minds. I really want to see them go and do it.
Yeah, this is a terrible thing for history, but man, I would just. If I'm the captain of the ship, I'm like, let's light them up. You know.
I also want to see the Japanese reaction to hearing that these futuristic planes have taken out their fleet.
Yeah, exactly.
Just absolutely dominate. Now, I don't, how long would a nuclear carrier last in 1940? You don't have resupply. You don't have any of the things, At some point, you kind of hit diminishing returns on that. But boy, the shock and awe of 300 Japanese Zeros coming in and running across the nuclear carrier would be a change for sure. But I don't think we have, they don't have enough ammo on board to handle 353 of those things. But they certainly could have made a dent.
They could have made a dent. Yeah, that would have drastically changed everything.
I like that part of it. And ultimately, at the end of the movie, pardon me, through all this moral dilemma, the storm reappears. The decision is made to attack the Japanese, but the storm reappears, pulls them back to the present day, and saves. And in a kerfuffle, the senator who, had he survived, would change history. He dies. So there's history saved or whatever with a nice little stinger on the end.
Well, the one thing that I was interested in, I mean, and we're obviously spoiling this completely.
Oh yeah,
but it's a
45-year-old movie. So
the fact that in the end we find out that the woman and that captain were the benefactors of sending Martin Sheen onto the Nimitz
of this incredibly successful defense company. Yeah,
because they knew that something was going. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
did they know that this time event was going to happen on that day?
So they were, so two people are left behind through whatever shenanigans in the movie, right? And at the end of the movie, when they return home, this couple, this man and woman who were left behind, pull up in a limo. They are the benefactors of the Tideman defense contractors or whatever. He has now gone through history, these 40 years, making decisions based on all the things that he knows, got very wealthy, obviously, and kind of put things into place. Now, there was a novelization of this movie released at roughly the same time.
That was something that happened back then.
Yeah, and in that novelization, Martin Sheen's character goes back to their home, and they learn that the vortex was potentially of extraterrestrial origin. So it kind of there's a little bit of a stinger on the book that you don't get in the movie. There's another thing that happens in the movie that's real subtle, and you guys may not have noticed it. In the first act, there's a plane whose tail hook doesn't work, and it has to come in. It's kind of a bit of a crash landing.
Medic, I do.
Right.
Yeah.
So they catch the plane. Everything's fine, and they pull the pilot out. He has gone through this storm, not on the carrier, but in the flight.
Right.
And when they pull him out,
they look at him weird,
sees him, and makes a reaction to his face, like a startled reaction.
Yes.
Oh.
A deleted plot point was that he had aged decades.
Oh, man,
and
all this stuff.
So surprised, but that was totally dropped. From the story. So that could have made things a little bit different. I don't know what the ramifications of that would have been story-wise ultimately, but that was a different. That reminded me of, and I don't know if you guys have seen the Philadelphia Experiment.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
A movie from I guess it's 80s or real early 90s,
it's
late
80s. It's 80s,
but that's a naval experiments where they were trying to cloak ships, and they end up. Putting them back through time into another dimension, and that whole city disappears, and people are fused with the ship, and you get all these weird effects from, and that it reminded me of something like that was probably better dropped than pursued. You're asking
but
a lot.
Still, though, the choice
to grasp some of this already,
Yeah, I mean, I guess still the frustration that I had is there was no explanation of anything at all. They just kind of let these vortexes happen, and we don't get any why is this happening? We never get any of that.
And I think the script is okay. It's not good.
It's not necessarily about the script.
And the performances. I mean, that is an all-star cast. I mean, Durning and
and Catherine Ross from The Graduate.
I mean, big time. Everything was underplayed. Everything was underplayed. Like, this is the most amazing thing that has ever happened in the history of humanity. Right. And you guys are just like, well, I think we're in 1941. What do we do now? It's real. Like, they would have just been like they underplayed it. But I don't know how you tell that story in an hour 40 and really hype it up.
Well, that's true.
When he's announcing to the ship that they're in 1941 and we're about to take on the Japanese in Pearl Harbor,
and
like there's no reaction from the crew.
Everybody just eating. One guy's playing on what Simon Says.
You're gonna eat that Salisbury steak? I'll have that. No.
Right. I think that for me that was underplayed some and
a little bit. Yeah.
It was a little. All the acting was a little bit flat. The leads were okay. Oh, look, the guy from Red Dawn. What is his name?
Are you talking about the guy that played Owens, James?
Yeah,
Ferrantino?
the XO.
James Ferrantino.
Thurman, Ron O'Neill.
You're talking about Ron O'Neill. Yeah. You know who that is, don't you?
Yeah,
that's Superfly.
He's Cuban from Red Dawn, I know.
Yes, he is that, and he's Superfly also.
Yeah. I've always liked him.
I do too. Yeah.
And Durning, and then James Ferrantino. I've always liked him.
I thought James Ferrantino was maybe the strongest.
What was her name? Catherine Ross.
Yeah, from The Graduate.
Beautiful lady.
From The Graduate. Yeah. Oh, she looks so good in The Graduate.
Still alive, married 5 times, married to Sam Elliott now.
Oh wow. I didn't know she was still around.
Yeah, she's still around. So the leads I think did okay.
Yeah.
The B team, like the extras, some of them were like real military. They were all terrible to a person. The expressions on their faces were bad. The line deliveries were horrific. It was not great. Siskel and Ebert named this one of their worst 5 movies of 1980, which I think
that's a little much.
That's a little extreme. It's been a guilty pleasure of mine because me and my dad watched it, and that's what it takes. It's not. That's what it is. It's a guilty. The score's not terrible. There's some cool shots, and it's a good think piece. Like what do you do in this situation?
Well, it's the Hitler question. Like, if you could go back in time and kill Hitler as a baby, would you? You knew who also did really good was the Japanese officer that they caught. Yeah, he was selling it, man. That guy was committed to that role.
Yeah.
What now?
You look him up. He's got a Korean name.
Oh, yeah, he is Korean. But to be fair, Korea was under the Japanese Empire back then.
Yeah,
and they did recruit some pilots, so it's not inconceivable that could have happened. But yeah, I mean, in 1980, nobody could tell them apart.
No, and didn't care.
Nobody. We're not splitting hairs over that.
Yeah.
This is the kind of like cheesy, big scale sci-fi that I feel like doesn't really get made anymore.
Yeah, no, not much. Yeah.
And also partially because it'd be expensive to make, and that's part of the problem because people don't go out to the movies like they used to. This was a moderate hit at the time. This would probably be a failure today.
It would go straight to
effects. Paramount Plus practical except for the vortex effect, which was just dry ice and a blue laser. Like a rave, like you'd see at a rave,
Right.
And that's it. It was good enough,
And the loud noises, which they didn't explain any of that either. Like, why the loud noises? I mean, I don't.
But it worked in its day. For what it is. But this movie struck me as very much a 70s movie of the same kind of. It had the same aesthetic as like an Andromeda Strain,
or Star Trek: The Motion Picture,
China Syndrome kind of movie.
Battlestar Galactica 1980
transition for me to go from here to 1986 Top Gun, which looks so much different,
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, that's like why
Michael witticism.
No, I just said Battlestar Galactica 1980.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, the one that everybody loves.
The one that everyone loves. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like as I was watching it, I mean, it really a lot of the just storyline felt like a Quantum Leap episode. Like it just kind of just something that would happen in Quantum Leap, like your leap back in time to right before the 19. What would you do? That type of thing. Would you try and change history, or you would let it happen? I mean,
I don't know how I didn't realize this on my first watch, but I think I like it a little more than now that I've realized through our talking that this is a closed loop time travel film, basically.
Yeah.
Since they are the benefactors ultimately. From the beginning. I know we only saw the shadowy figure in the beginning of the film.
Right.
But I didn't realize that was the husband and wife. I don't know why that didn't hit me. I think I was just kind of like, okay, this movie's over. That was fine. I didn't really think much about it afterwards.
Well,
that
it
was
wouldn't have had the impact if
but
he had met him at the beginning.
That's one of my favorite types of time travel is the closed loop, because then you kind of look. Yes, there's still some questions about how you maybe messed things up, but the things were already messed up in this timeline. He was already in the past.
Yeah, the things happen,
and now they get to reconnect with their dog. So
and they talk a little bit about that. They throw some lines at that about how look that happened, and there's no history can't be changed so easily, right?
Yeah.
And
in fact,
ultimately it could not.
The guy who becomes Tideman, I think he's the one who brings that up. As well.
Yeah, he was the one that was
the
concerned
historian
about
who
all
had
of
been
it.
who had kind of been studying World War II and the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
So, I mean, ultimately, I'm glad, obviously, since I own the film, I'm glad that I finally watched it, which is what I'm trying to accomplish here. And it allowed us to have Rhett on. So, because I know for whatever reason, you've talked about that movie a lot in years past.
Maybe,
I've heard you mention it.
It's one of those that it's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. I just from going back to when my dad and I would watch it, and I love to see F-14s just absolutely.
Well, I know you love all the naval aviation stuff, and so that tracks that you would like this movie. I mean, and so it's just and it
does not, and I haven't seen it in many years. I mean, many years, 25 plus years, and it's not great. It does not hold up the way it did when I was a child, but it's not. I still think it's worthy, kind of in the zeitgeist. It's a good think piece. Like, what do you do here? What's how would you react to that? And one of the things I'll enjoy are there are many YouTube videos about what if we sent a nuclear aircraft carrier back to 1941. Right. They kind of play that out. What would that look like? And that's just one of those things that I used to play that the Civilization series. Sid Meier's.
Yeah.
And boy, if you could get some tech advances up ahead of some of your folks, you can nuke somebody who still has chariots, and that always made me feel good. And that this movie gives me some of that.
Yeah. If they did it today, it'd be even worse. I mean, just the generation of planes we've got now. And
F-22s versus an F-14 or an A-4 or anything like that would just be overwhelming.
Feel like someone playing with their food.
Yeah, exactly. No, I always I loved this cast because obviously on the front cover of the Blu-ray it just mentions Martin Sheen and Kirk Douglas. I didn't look on IMDb before I watched the movie, so I had no idea that Catherine Ross is in it and Charles During. And Charles During is just one of those guys that is in so many movies in the 80s where he's the bad guy. Yeah. So as soon as I saw him, I was like, at some point he's going to do something nefarious,
stupid. Yeah.
And he did. And it paid off. And he did something really stupid. Yep. And my favorite role of his is Doc Hopper in the Muppet movie. That's probably one of my favorite things that I've seen him in. And he's one of those guys that I thought was in a Bond movie at some point, but I guess he never was, because he has that look about him where he'd be a good, redneck Southern Bond villain for a couple of those Bond movies that took place in the South. But
specifically in the 70s too.
Yeah, in the 70s.
Now, speaking of the South, the Japanese pilots,
or
the pilots of the Zeros for the aerial shots were pilots of the Confederate Air Force, now known as the Commemorative Air Force for obvious reasons. But that's where they got those pilots to fly those old Texans.
Interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I was looking up, there's one shot that says an actual person's name on one of the aircraft. And so I looked up the guy's name, and it was a real person.
Yeah.
And he was kind of famous for his ship or his airplane falling off a carrier at one point. The guy's name was so it was interesting. I was like, oh, that's cool.
I think one of the F-14s featured, I think, got a double kill in 81 or 2. Got some MiG-22s.
That's awesome.
From Libya, I think.
Libya, yeah.
Reasonably sure that's right. I remember the one we got in 86, we shot some down, but I think we got some in 81 or 2.
Right.
And I think it was one of these guys.
I miss the Libyans.
I do too. They were easy villains in movies. They drive in that VW van.
Yes.
Back to every time I see one, I'm like, the Libyans.
The Libyans.
Back to the Future.
Well, Rhett, I really appreciate you coming on for the final countdown. I appreciate you. This is basically your Michael Jordan flu game, so I appreciate you coming on and being willing to, not feeling 100%, being willing to talk about the final countdown with us.
Well, thanks for having me. Sorry that I don't sound great.
No, you're okay.
Across too nasally on the recording, but thank you for having me. That's a like I say, it's a movie that's a guilty pleasure of mine. So I'm glad to be able to talk about it a little bit.
It is now a guilty pleasure of mine too, because I will watch this again at some point because it's just sort of fun. It's just kind of a fun movie.
Good cast.
I know. Besides our Discord, is there any place that you would want people to be able to find you?
Oh goodness, no! I don't even want them to find me in there. I say ridiculous things there. They don't need to get out. I've got a job.
Hey, you're selling our Discord, so if you want to hear ridiculous things from Rhett, you need to email us at cdppodcast@gmail.com to get into
the Discord's a fun place. Yeah, if you're listening and you're not part of the Discord, I recommend it. We take the piss on each other sometimes.
Yeah, we cut up a lot.
We joke. We sometimes we're serious and supportive when people need it. And
that's true.
For the rest of the time, we're just saying the dumbest things you can imagine. And it's
we also like to celebrate celebrity deaths a lot.
Oh yeah. Boy, it is people trip over themselves to try to be the one that announces
the first
who dies.
Yes.
These people read the obituaries like sickos.
I'll leave those to Andrew. I'll just
Well, he's always quick on the draw, isn't he?
If you ever want to know when a random moth from Star Wars dies,
Oh
that's the place. Go to our Discord. We'll tell you when all the moths have
those guys are
died.
dropping like flies. Like, oh, this guy, you saw his elbow in the side. He's rest in the force. I'm like, good place.
This guy was one of 6 guys to claim to be the stormtrooper that hit his head on the.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we covered death more than anything else. Well, thank you very much for having me. Continued success to you guys. And
Thanks so much, man.
Have a good show.
We'll catch you on the next random movie that we want to have you on for.
Even
look forward to it. See you
soon, maybe. So,
all right. See ya.
All right. See ya. Bye. It was great to have Rhett on. He's always a fantastic guest.
Dude, he always brings his A game whenever he's on. When he was on the Deuce Cast, he always brought his A game.
Yeah.
When we were doing CTI, he always brought his A game. and
it's a different kind of A game.
Different kind of A game. But I'm glad that he took the time. I know he wasn't feeling well, so I'm glad he took the time to be on here.
Yeah, and I'm so much a wealth of knowledge there on all the. I don't know all the planes. I don't know all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So it's great to hear that stuff, not just being rattled out, but then I can look it up and kind of
go.
That's
cool. He's a huge aviation fan when it comes to military aircraft, and so I knew that he would know all of that type of stuff. So that's another reason I wanted to have him on, because I am clueless about that type of stuff. If I see an F-16 or F-14 or whatever the heck they were, I'm like, hey, that looks cool. But that's about as far as my knowledge goes from it.
Well, next week.
That's right. What are you going to give us?
A theme here.
What are you going to pair? This is important, because what are you going to pair with Mando and Grogu?
What am I going to pair with Mando and Grogu? I'm going to pair Lone Wolf and Cub, Sword of Vengeance.
I've never seen it. Yes.
The first movie from the Lone Wolf and Cub series from Japan from 1972, Sword and Vengeance. Sword of Vengeance. It is like 87 minutes. If you look up the series, there are 6 movies. 4 of them came out in 1972.
Okay.
I think the 5th one came out in 73, 4th one 74. This is based on a Japanese manga that helped inspire part of Mando and Grogu, or the show The Mandalorian. So I thought that would be a good pairing with the upcoming movie.
Rhett loves it when I say this, but that's kismet.
Yes.
Even though it's not, it's just coincidence.
I was thinking this morning, I was like, what movie do I want to? I don't pick these movies so far in advance because I'm not going in order like you are.
Yeah. Well, I'm breaking that next week, but
interesting.
We have to go back to Arrow.
Okay. Please don't do that too often.
I know.
I that's fine. I don't really care. But I am like, get to Criterion.
I know. I'm trying. We're slowly getting there.
The movie that has consumed my brain this entire weekend, though, I think we got to get to it. And I want to ask you, because I didn't get to ask you in the pre-show.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a non-spoiler and then a spoiler discussion?
Ooh, with Obsession, here's why I don't want to do a spoiler discussion, because I think this movie is benefiting a lot from word of mouth, and I think more people are going to see this next week also.
Okay.
So I don't want to necessarily get into very detailed spoilers.
Okay.
Maybe we can touch on some things, but I don't want to necessarily get
light stuff.
Yeah.
So
Light
we could talk about that there are creepy scenes in certain locations. We'll say that. I think that this is, first off, I think this is the best movie on this episode we're covering. It's one of the best movies of this year. It is fantastic. It's made on a budget of $750,000 or something crazy, which is partially because if you ever want to know and you look at the breakdown of budgets, stars really help inflate budgets.
Yes, they do.
And this movie does not have stars yet. Now, eventually, I think some of these people will break out, especially the lead actress. But I have not been in a position where I'm watching a movie and I jump out of my skin a whole lot in my life. I can react to like a jump scare, but that's not the same thing. Like getting just kind of mildly scared by a jump scare is one thing. But just hair standing on the back of my neck. Being freaked out by the things I'm seeing on screen. This is one of the few movies to do that for me. I have seen some comparisons to Pulse by Kiyoshi Kurosawa in terms of like specific scenes.
I think I've seen that.
I'm not going to get into why necessarily because that would get too spoilery. But yes, there are scenes in Pulse that made me jump out of my skin. Now, Pulse I don't even think is as scary as this movie. I think Pulse is kind of almost more depressing at times. But not that this isn't depressing at times either.
Got some moments,
But this movie is straight up more horror to me than that one, which is more bleak. And this is bleak, but it's just kind of the way I feel about those two movies. Curry Barker is a new name in horror cinema and cinema in general. This is his first feature-length film. I know he's got one on YouTube, but this is his first.
Yeah, he's only 23, I think.
26. Yeah.
Oh, is he 26 now? Oh, maybe he was 23 when he made Milk and Cereal, maybe, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was born in 99.
Okay.
The first time I saw his name, I went, "Is he like related to Clive Barker?"
I know. I think everybody probably thought that. Yeah.
But he's not. So
because I think Clive Barker isn't he a Brit?
Not just that, but there are other reasons why he might not have a son, which I didn't realize until I looked it up.
Well, yeah, that's true. Very true. Although nowadays, but
yeah, I mean, he could. It's just less likely in some ways. Man, this is a very R-rated movie.
Well, it is, but as far as like, I've seen a lot of horror films more in my life since 2015 than prior. Like, I didn't grow up loving that genre, and so I didn't really start watching horror films until 2015. I think that there's been horror, especially like the Evil Dead franchise, for example. There's more violent and more shocking things in the Evil Dead franchise than I think was in this.
I know that Curry said that he had to make 6 to 8 cuts in the car scene to get it from an NC-17 rating to an R rating.
Yeah, I guess I'm just desensitized. I guess.
And that scene is quite shocking.
I guess it is. But
still,
is it? I don't know.
It's been cut down.
It's been cut down. You're right.
To get
which makes me nervous for if he ends up doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Good grief. He is going to go hard, I bet.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's supposed to be a TV show or a movie, and I don't know.
His is a movie.
Okay.
The guy that did what was the one the hit movie Darling
Kyle Gallner or whatever.
He's doing a TV show for A24.
Okay.
So there's like dueling projects going on. Basically.
Okay, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of weird, but
it happens.
And Barker himself has said, because I watched his interview that he did with Sean Fennessy, he said that hasn't even put pen to paper yet, that he's really just got ideas for what he would want a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. So it's very early in development, if it even happens at all. I real quick, before I forget, there is something about Barker that I think is really brave as a filmmaker, that a lot of guys his age and a lot of horror filmmakers are not willing to do anymore, is to let the scene breathe.
Yeah.
Like, he does that better than a lot of modern filmmakers that I've watched horror films a lot lately. I mean, this year there's been a lot of horror films already. And most of them just don't like to let things breathe at all. They just want to like shock you as quick as they possibly can and do crazy stuff. Like the scene where, the car scene that you mentioned, but like my favorite scene in the midst of all the craziness that's happening in the movie, my favorite scene is when Bear opens Sarah's letter and reads Sarah's letter.
Yeah.
That was like such a powerful scene because it's like a breather for the audience a little bit, but it also lets Bear just completely like let go emotionally because of all the crap that he had been through. I thought that was a really powerful scene and I appreciated it a lot.
Yes. And the letting it breathe helps add to the tension.
Gosh, the car scene.
Because
oh my gosh.
You were almost on edge the whole film because of what has happened. So let me reframe and kind of explain the movie if you don't know it. Basically, the movie starts out with this friend group who all go to trivia together on a certain night.
Yeah, it's just like a normal friend group. Yeah.
It's Baron or Bart, whatever his name is, but he goes by Bear.
Goes by Bear, yeah.
You've got Nikki, the girl he's in love with. You've got Sarah, the girl that likes him, but he doesn't really like her.
And then Ian.
And you've got Ian, his best friend.
Yeah.
And Bear wants to ask out Nikki, who is the girl he's in love with.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to find the time to do it. And he doesn't really seem to have the confidence to do it. And so we're seeing a lot of kind of him at the beginning of the movie. He's role playing to expound on his love to her, which is a little bit cringy, but you know, I understand the exercise.
Yeah.
His friend gives him some good, some bad advice, I think.
We find out a little bit later, maybe why.
Yes, exactly. I agree. Mm-hmm. And ultimately Bear drops Nikki off after a trivia night one night and doesn't build up the confidence to ask her out. She even stops and asks him, do you like me? Because we don't have a lot of time. And then when he says no, no, that's not what that's not what I was, that's not what I wanted to tell you.
He chickens out, basically.
He chickens out, and you can see a look on her face to me that says, oh, I'm kind of disappointed he said no. It's not like she's not madly in love with him.
Right.
I think there was like to me, I think that there was like a bit of her that wanted him to say yes and maybe give it a shot.
Yeah. There's a lot of discussion about that online right now. Like, what was her intention in that moment, or her thought process in that moment? And I think that it is good to be a bit ambiguous about that.
Yes.
I think that helps the film.
Curry said when writing it, he imagined that she did in that moment want him to say yes. And
but what's good, I'll just say real quick, but what's good about that is maybe he intended that, but depending on how you want to interpret the film, maybe she did.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the thing is, ultimately, she's not going to appreciate what happens next, no matter what.
Yeah.
Which is that he has bought an item previous to the trivia night.
Yes.
Where he was going to buy her a necklace. He instead just winds up spending $6, $7 on a one wish willow that allows him to grant one wish. He snaps a stick, whatever he says, that's going to happen. Now, he doesn't believe it. And that's the one caveat I'll put in there. There's no way he believes that that's really going to be real.
Right.
So then he makes a terrible wish, which is that Nikki Friedman loves me more than anybody else in the whole world.
Yeah.
And that's where obsession starts.
And it's a great setup, really simplistic setup. It uses the horror trope of a cursed item, and expounds on that in a not necessarily telling us any lore about the item, but we certainly see the outcome once the cursed item is used.
Yes.
And in fact, in interviews recently, Barker has said that he has maybe an idea for like a series, not another movie necessarily, but like a series that is different characters and what happens when they use the whistle or whatever, because it's obviously another thing that they're, I think, ambiguous about in a great way is the clerks at the store.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell if they know about the whistle for sure
until much later. Yeah.
Well, even then, it's hard to know.
I'm not going to, but I get what you're saying. Now, I will say this. Curry did say in the press tour, so again, this is kind of skirting around some things, that the item itself is not necessarily cursed. It is the way you go about wishing, whatever you're wishing for.
Well, that makes sense.
You have to be careful for what you're wishing for.
You have to be careful.
That's a classic horror trope.
Yeah, exactly. It's a genie in a bottle type situation. Like, what would, if you had 3 wishes, what would you...
Now, in any way of trying to get someone to love you is probably a bad thing, but he probably went the worst route by saying that she loves me more than anything ever in the whole world.
That was the way he put it was a little bit too specific.
Yeah. And so you get a girl who's now completely and totally obsessed with you, and that's it. That's the only thing in the world she wants. And you can see throughout the film that he does not, while he is enjoying being in the relationship with her, and is enjoying certain aspects of the relationship, he does not enjoy the relationship overall. Yet he does not want to let it go, because if he lets it go, then he loses her.
Yeah, exactly. And here's what's tough. Like, for us to go any further, I think, as far as like what goes down throughout the movie would kind of ruin the experience for you. I mean, I went on a Wednesday night like fan event that AMC was having. Because this was the type of movie, just based upon all the marketing, and I just felt a hype going in to this film releasing, because the marketing has actually been really good. Like, I don't usually equate focus, but maybe this was more of a Blumhouse situation where they were doing really good marketing, maybe not super expensive or anything, but really good marketing. And so there was this hype. So I wanted to be in a crowd when I saw this movie. So that's why I wanted to specifically go to that fan event, because I knew there'd be people there intentionally to watch the film because they knew about it, not just going in blind or whatever. It's one of those fun movies where you're getting a lot of different reactions from around you in the theater. At least I was. There was people that were so uncomfortable. They were giving that like nervous laugh. And there was a guy sitting next to me that was getting so frustrated with what sounded like younger, not like maybe high school aged, like laughing too much, because they were like freaked out. And so they were just like nervous. And this guy actually audibly said, "Be quiet," during, and I'm like, dude, just let people watch the movie how they want to. I mean,
as long as you're not being too disruptive.
And I didn't feel like they were. I've learned to zone that stuff out anyways. I've been going to see movies for so long. I've learned to, like, if somebody's going to choose to be that way, and I don't think they were doing it intentionally. They were just super like nervous about like what they were seeing. Maybe they don't see many horror films. I don't know. They were reacting because there are maybe 1 to 2 moments in the film where I chuckled a little bit.
I know. I laughed at certain moments. First off, there are just comedic moments in the film.
Yeah, intentionally comedic moments. Sometimes you can laugh at unintentional comedic moments. There's a couple of those maybe, but man, I was blown away with the ability on such a small budget to create the atmosphere that he created just by using like dark shots, like her face being dark in a shadow or something
lighting.
Like that.
A lot of it's lighting.
Yeah,
and look, I think a lot of movies are underlit today, but this one needed to be underlit in some ways.
Oh, I think so too.
A lot of movies are underlit in a way where they're like, oh, it's realistic, blah blah blah, and I don't love that stuff. But in this case, it's purely a stylistic choice of how they want to convey what's happening on screen. So I'm okay with that. There is a shot. There's a shot of her in a doorway where you just pretty much see the glint on her eyes.
Yep. Yep.
And that's
Well
not
done.
even like supposed to be a freaky scene necessarily. And I'm trying not to go too hard into what's
Yeah,
happening,
but it's just well done. It just looks
but
great.
yeah, it's just kind of clearly you're conveying that something has happened at this moment, basically. And the character is in a darker place essentially. And yeah, it's good storytelling.
And outside of sort of like below the line type stuff, I mean, I loved the use of music in the movie. It's like all very Gen Z emo sounding music was used. The score was very Gen Z, what I would call like a Gen Z score. It just had that vibe about it.
Well, pretty much everybody in the production in terms of
Right.
the creation of the film is Gen Z. So that's
Exactly.
very much a Gen Z film. Yeah.
So I loved just all of that because it worked so well. And just the whole setup, just like stepping in res almost into the lives of these people.
Yeah.
And they're just normal people. They work together. They're friends from probably through work. They go hang out at bars. They go to karaoke. I mean, they just do like normal stuff, and they're just thrown into this madness because of this one wish whistle. I mean, and so it's just Indy Navarrete. I think that she has potential to be pretty big.
She is fantastic in the film.
She did great. Yeah.
And she's the thing that everybody's talking about, which is good for her.
Yeah.
She's going to get, her flowers. She's going to get love. She's going to get some, I think, and I'll caveat this in a second, but I think she's going to get some awards consideration at some smaller awards.
Yeah, maybe like Saturn, the Saturn Awards or something.
Yeah. I see a lot of people trying to campaign her for Oscars right now. And I would love to see it. I think that she does a fantastic job, and I'd love to see her get in consideration for that kind of thing. First off, it's all about campaigning, but second off, all the comparisons to Amy Madigan for last year. The difference is Madigan is a veteran, long time in the industry. She's beloved by everyone in the industry. I mean, all the feedback from the anonymous ballots for how much they loved Amy Madigan as a person, basically. Not, and she gives a great perforance, but it really wasn't about that. A lot of it's the politicking and networking and how you know people in Hollywood. And she's not established like that yet. Now, women are more likely to get consideration like that.
That's true.
Than men at a younger age.
Yeah.
But that's usually in those kind of, those drama films. Or Oscar kind of baity at times.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's probably, I think I put it at my like third or fourth favorite movie of the year. I still have Project Hail Mary up there. One that I recently saw was up there too. I can't even remember what I have as my, Sheep Detectives. I think I put up there as well.
I told Rhett this pre-show, but Sheep Detectives is the feel-good movie of the year. And Obsession is the feel-bad movie of the year. And I mean that in a complimentary way for both films.
It's so true. Yeah. I mean, I often don't take the time to rewatch horror films specifically, but man, I kind of just want to go experience this in the theater one more time. I mean, because it's just wild.
So just locked in on social media with this movie after this film. I mean, to the point where I found myself like after the movie, I watched it at a 7 p.m. showing. It got out like 9:30, and I was up that night at like 1:30, and I was like, I need to go to sleep. Awesome. I'm just consuming all this stuff from the film, and I'll be honest, I walked out of that film going, I never want to watch this movie again, and I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, I'm glad that you want to watch it again. I don't know that I ever want to watch it again, but I might.
It's just one of those that, like Schindler's List, I didn't want to watch that again. But this, I don't know.
It's such a mean-spirited, spiteful movie at the end of the day. I don't mean that. That's what it's aiming for.
That's what it's aiming for. You're right.
Yeah. So if you're into horror films where, things are not always the cleanest, I think that you're really going to enjoy this movie.
Yeah, exactly. The only person in the cast, and I looked her up because I could have sworn I had seen her in something. I don't think I have, but Megan Lawless, who played Sarah, she's been in a few things. She's been around the industry for a while. Whereas, like this, I don't know that this was Indy Navarrette's very first thing, but she hasn't done much. I mean, if it isn't her first thing, she hasn't done much.
She's done Wander Darkly, which I've never heard of or seen.
Yeah,
but it's got Diego Luna in it. She did Obsession's the second thing, and then
Mhm.
she's in another film called Trap House, I guess, coming out later this year.
Oh no, that's already out on Netflix. That's
Okay.
that's a Dave Bautista movie.
Okay.
That's right. I forgot that she was in that. I haven't watched it, but I heard somebody else.
Oh,
mention
that's
that
right.
she was-
Okay.
she was in
It
Trap House.
lists Obsession second because it came out at TIFF.
Yeah,
Technically, in terms of public releases, the third.
yeah, it's the third thing.
So.
Oh, and we got to shout out the fact that Andy Richter is the store
Yes.
owner, and
Well,
Sarah's
he's
dad.
also the
Sarah's
father
dad.
of Sarah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah's dad and the store manager or whatever. He was. It was so like I was like, why is Andy Richter in this movie? It was so strange to see him pop up. So yeah,
The guy who plays Bear in the film,
yes,
I think, is kind of quietly also very good.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think so. Michael Johnston. Yeah,
I think people are not going to necessarily give him his flowers at times because the character becomes so hated by the end of the movie that
right.
people just connect that to the person sometimes at the end of the day. But I think he's going to get some roles off the back of this where I wouldn't be surprised to see him doing some good dramatic work. But
yeah, I mean, and that's the thing you always wonder with these younger actors that make their first big debut in like a horror film. Are they going to be stuck in the genre, or are they going to find a way to get out and do some things outside the genre? Not that there's anything wrong about like just maybe making a career out of being horror movies, but I think that really everybody in the cast is, I think, because even I liked Cooper Tomlinson. I mean, I think everybody in the cast has a certain magnetism about them where they can do stuff outside the genre well.
Cooper plays a good everyman. I think he can be a good supporting actor in other films. I'll be interested to see if he can lead. But I do want to bring up one thing.
Okay.
And that is that they said that there was no CGI used in this film. There are certain aspects of like, well, I'm sure there's compositing and certain things, but in terms of movements of things and maybe things that you're seeing on screen.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. That's interesting.
There's no CGI. Now there were doubles used here or there, but there's one scene specifically that I'd love to talk about, but I don't want to get.
Yeah, it would spoil too much. Yeah, I know the scene you're talking about, but yeah, that is cool. I mean, that's probably a budget limitation thing. Like they probably didn't have the money to have a CGI house.
And you had someone who could be so expressive in certain ways, and yeah. So that worked out. Now I'm interested to see Curry Barker's next film, and I'm a little nervous because I'm excited for
bigger cast.
It does. It's anything but ghosts. It's going to be done through, I think, Focus and Blumhouse again.
Maybe, I believe so.
For sure, Blumhouse.
Yeah.
And it actually stars this time Curry and Cooper.
Yeah, because they're buddies that were doing that YouTube channel together. Yep. And so this was an idea that they have had for a very long time.
People being fake ghost hunters, basically.
Yeah.
And then they run into a real entity.
Yeah.
It's a cute premise.
I think that one will have the ability to probably be more comedic than this.
Absolutely.
So I think that'll cut whatever tension that they throw out there with the ghosts. So which is sometimes good. I mean,
I'm just interested to see how Curry handles being both the director and the lead, basically.
Well, I did watch his Milk and Cereal thing because it's just out on YouTube. And it's only like an hour and 1 minute, I think. It's just over an hour. He is an interesting presence on screen. He has the weird ability, at least from what I was watching, to sort of off foot you a little bit. Like you're sort of like, is this guy for real? Or is this just he's hamming it up on purpose? Or like what's going on with this guy? I'm not willing to say yet that he's a good actor because that's the only thing I've ever seen him in.
And that was a fair amount of time ago too.
Well, yeah, Milk and Cereal was a fair amount of time, but he also did the YouTube channel as well, where a lot of that was shorts and different things that he had made. I never watched any of that stuff. I don't know him from his YouTube presence. But Milk and Cereal was just okay. But yeah, it was, again, probably cost $5,000 to make, if even that. I mean,
it was $800.
Okay, well there you go, $800. I mean,
I looked it up.
Yeah, I mean, it looks it. I mean, it's an $800, what you would think an $800 movie would look like. But the story was actually pretty interesting. So I'm wondering, like, from a creative standpoint, if maybe he's a better writer and director than he is actor, I guess
that's
we'll find out. Yeah,
that's why I'm like a little bit nervous about that aspect. Is now he's leaping into, and I know he wants to act, and so he's leaping into doing both. And I'm wondering if maybe, like you said, he's a better storyteller than he is an actor. I don't know yet.
We'll find out.
He does have a role in Obsession. It's not a visible role, but he does have a role.
Wait. Okay. Well, I don't want
to. He plays a customer service character.
He's that guy. Okay, I didn't know if that was because that didn't sound like him at all. That's interesting. Good job because he didn't sound like himself at all. So
I think he's putting on kind of an affectation there.
It was a great one though. It was so good. Well, that's in the preview. I mean, and one of the previews.
Yes, and it sounds like a bored customer service guy too. So
well, very specifically, a bored Gen Z customer service agent. Very specifically.
Yeah. Well, do you want to touch on In the Gray?
We can touch on it. I mean, I liked it a lot, but I also like what I would call a dad movie. And this is very much like a dad movie where like your dad would really love watching this movie. It's that kind of thing, like a good Saturday afternoon matinee type of movie with a big budget because of who's in it. It's got Henry Cavill and Jake Gyllenhaal and Issa Gonzalez, and then a really good supporting cast. Not Crispin Glover. I can't remember it.
I know what you're talking. Fisher
Stevens, that's right. And a couple of like other faces. The guy with the red beard, you recognize him. I mean,
from Game of Thrones.
From Game of Thrones, it's got recognizable characters because Guy Ritchie just does that well. It had moments where it was almost too Guy Ritchie. Like if you've seen a lot of his stuff, you know that he really loves a lot of dialogue, fast paced. A lot of explaining things in fast ways to the audience, but also gimmicky in the sense that he puts a lot of text on the screen for you to read. And so if you're not into the Guy Ritchie thing, and I would say that that's almost more within the last decade that he does sort of stuff like this, you're probably not going to dig it. But I think that the story played out and it was a fun movie. It's got a lot of great action set pieces in it. Henry Cavill, as always, oozes charisma on the screen. I mean, he just does. I love watching him in movies, but he's never in anything that is very successful other than, of course, when he was Superman.
Maybe Highlander. Maybe. We'll see.
I hope so. I mean,
I have high hopes for Highlander as a movie, I guess I'll say.
I do too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and unfortunately this week, if you're into movie news, Voltron being announced as going straight to Amazon Prime sort of took the wind out of the sails of the fact that Henry Cavill was in a movie this week.
Yeah.
I mean, because everybody was like, oh, they're just putting Voltron straight to Amazon Prime. That means some exec saw it and didn't think that it had the juice. And so they're just not going to put it in.
My understanding is that was always the plan, really.
I think that it was, but there was a small glimmer of hope that maybe it would be something good enough to put in theaters.
I know what you're talking about. It was kind of like when HBO kind of mandated that, okay, no movies above this amount are going to go straight to HBO Max anymore.
Exactly. I mean, and the basic story, and this is another Guy Ritchie-ism, where there's different people on different teams trying to accomplish the same goal. You had Henry Cavill leading more of like the covert aspect of infiltration team. And then you had Jake Gyllenhaal more on the financial side of things and leading that team a little bit. So it was good. I mean, I love that stuff. It's very, like I said, it's like your dad really is going to love this movie. What did you think of it?
I thought that, and I saw another reviewer make this point. I'll shout him out in a second, but when I was watching it, I'm enjoying it. It ends kind of abruptly, honestly. But it feels like a Guy Ritchie movie, like you're saying. It's nothing fantastic. He's been churning out films now since like 2019, almost once a year. It feels like
he's got another one coming out later this year.
But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, first off, The Gentleman I think is fantastic.
It is, yeah.
And then apparently that one with, I think it was Gyllenhaal where he was in Afghanistan is supposed to be pretty good, but I haven't watched that one yet.
It is good, yeah. It's like called Guy Ritchie's The
Covenant or something.
Covenant or so. Yeah, something like that. Like
Yeah.
Guy Ritchie's name's in the title or something
Okay.
on that one. But yeah,
Yeah,
it
Guy
was
Ritchie's
actually
The
good.
Covenant.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good.
So, I mean, you get some gems in the kind of glimmer of okay films to good films.
Well, I mean,
This
the
is
one from what last year that, or it could be 2 years ago now, but that Cavill was in. I freaking loved the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I had
yeah,
so
that
much
was good.
fun. I
Yeah,
had
that's what
so much fun with that movie.
that's what I'm saying. That
Yeah.
there are ups and downs here, and this one to me is an okay to good kind of film.
Yeah.
And Sonny Bunch, the reviewer, said that it felt like half a movie to him, but he loved it. And I'd say
Yeah.
like to me, it felt like 2/3 of a movie.
Yeah,
Like,
it's only
didn't
an
feel
hour
like
and
that
38
there's
minutes. It's
it
short.
feels like there's some stuff missing.
Yeah.
And it may have been chopped to death. I have no idea, but I still enjoyed it. Like you said, it was just a fun time at the theater. It just kind of there really wasn't much there to the story necessarily.
Yeah.
And there are, you know, consequences and things really mostly for Isa Gonzalez's character.
Yeah.
That's everybody else kind of just does their job and they're good at it. But
The main bad guy, Carlos Bardem, is older brother of Javier Bardem.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Actually, in the family, if you will. He was good. I mean, he was a good bad guy.
Yeah.
Pretty cutthroat. And the guy from, like you mentioned, Game of Thrones, and I will butcher his name because it's I think he's from like Norway or something like that. Let me see if I get his. Yeah, I don't know. Wait, where is he? There he is, Christoph Hivjush. That's Hivju. Yeah, he's good. I mean, he's one of those guys that when you see him, you know, oh, he's probably going to be the bad guy, and he was good in it. I mean, it worked. Although he's not the bad guy in Game of Thrones, but
yeah, I think Fisher Stevens is really good in the movie.
Fisher Stevens is just one of those guys that has been working forever that just added a pretty good punch. I felt like Rosamund Pike was a little underused.
Yeah.
I mean, that was such a weird character for her to be like maybe in 5 scenes total.
Yeah.
But
very important character that doesn't really have much to do.
And then there's this character that's off screen that we never see, the one that's calling the red phone that they mention a lot in the film.
Yeah.
The guy upstairs, they could have had some cameo of some very like Charles Dance or something, like have him be the main bad guy or the main guy that runs that particular organization. And they never did that. It was sort of like an off-screen thing. It was kind of weird, but yeah, I liked it. Like I said, it was I saw it on a Saturday matinee, and it's what I would call a Saturday matinee movie. I mean, it'll do well in streaming. It'll just do better. It'll probably do better in streaming as far as people watching it than it will in the theaters this weekend. And I don't even think it was in the top 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's not a great start for its theatrical. And Guy Ritchie's not had a lot of failures lately. They've just kind of been moderate successes.
Yeah,
this might be. I don't know what the budget is on this thing. I can't even see one right now, but it might be a failure.
Well, like you mentioned, a lot of budget is cast, and you know that Cavill and Gyllenhaal probably wanted to get paid. And then there was a lot of stunt sequences, action, explosion. I mean, this probably had a pretty hefty budget, I would think.
Okay. This someone found the literal filing of the production company and says that using exchange rates, because it was British, today would get you like 18.5 would get you 58.5 to 59 million essentially.
And that's all up on screen. That's probably about right.
British, so you are getting a tax rebate on that too. So I don't know how much it is, 30% maybe, I think. Anyway, it's not the full amount. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. It looked
but
good.
It's still expensive.
For that budget. Yeah, for that budget, it looked good. I mean, it's all up on screen. They didn't leave any money on the table. They definitely used every ounce of that budget. So good for them, at least for that. Because a lot of times when you see movies with high budgets, sometimes you're like, why did this cost so much money?
Yeah.
And this,
part of that's the salaries of actors in the past, but it does seem like Cavill and Gyllenhaal and even Gonzalez, who's starting to have a bigger career, all took kind of a smaller payday for this film. So
Yeah, because it's Guy Ritchie. Maybe they like working with Guy. I know Cavill's worked with him a lot. I mean, so
Yeah.
it's just, and now Gyllenhaal has too. This is 2 films for Gyllenhaal, and I think 2 or 3 now for Cavill with Guy Ritchie. So, like I said, I think he's got another one coming out in the fall. What is that one called? It's like some wolf thing or something. Wife and Dog is what the one in the fall is, and it is starring Rosamund Pike is back, Anthony Hopkins, Benedict Cumberbatch, James Norton, Patty Considine, Cosmo Jarvis. Big cast. The relentless greed of the Fairbank family and their associates who fuel betrayal and murder in the battle for succession.
Yeah.
Doesn't sell me on it, but I mean, I like the cast. I like Cumberbatch. I think I always like to see Cumberbatch outside of superhero films because it's interesting to see what choices he makes.
Yeah.
Like he did The Roses last year, and he had some indie film last year that I never saw. But where he played a father, and it was apparently pretty heavy movie. I just never got a chance to see it. But so yeah, if you've got time, definitely go see Obsession over In the Gray, but In the Gray would not be a waste of time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm never gonna tell you to not go to the theaters and patron what you want to see. I mean, put your money where your mouth is in terms of what you want to see. But Obsession is a film I would see in theaters if you enjoy that kind of film.
Yes.
In the Gray is a movie I would watch personally on streaming on a Saturday afternoon where you're just kind of relaxing. It's kind of the feeling I get watching it.
Well, obviously, like our focus next week is going to be Mando and Grogu.
Yep.
But there is another horror film coming out next week.
Okay.
That being Passenger.
Okay.
So I don't know if I am personally going to have time to see Passenger, but I do want to see it. But most of the conversation next week is going to be about Mando and Grogu. I guess we can soft announce that we may even do a roundtable episode on that. After everybody's had a chance to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're trying to coordinate that right now.
We're trying to coordinate that.
Don't know that we've gotten full yeses yet, but
it seems like everybody's kind of non-committal about it. Well, I think Rhett said he would do it, and Earl said he would do it. But we've got one person that has to be part of the roundtable.
Yes. And they're not non-committal. It's just we got to make sure we can work around. We got to
coordinate the plan. So, but we understand it's Memorial Day weekend, so we want to give everybody time to see the movie.
Yes.
In fact, I need everybody to go see this movie because I do not want it to be an embarrassment as far as box office returns. We do not need another embarrassing box office from a Star Wars movie. I do not want that at all.
Again, the thing to me is this is a $165 million budget.
Yeah.
If it opens at 90, 100 million, that's not an embarrassment because Solo opened slightly bigger, but had a $300 million budget. And I don't know. This is a TV movie, essentially.
Basically.
To theaters.
From what I understand, it's very much like 2 episodes of Mando squished together almost.
Yeah, which is kind of what I always expected. I know that some people didn't want that, but that's kind of what I always expected.
Look, if it's a good time in the theaters and there's 1 or 2 things that are like, oh, that's really cool, then I will be happy with it. I mean, I'm looking forward to Star Wars on the big screen because it's been 7 years. It's been 7 years. It's ridiculous that there has not been. It's so dumb.
I'm very excited for next year when you get the re-releases plus an actual one that's been developed for the big screen. So
I'm the same way.
Where can people find you online, Mikey?
Yes, I am more often than not on our Discord, which I'll let Garrison tell you about that more in a minute. But I'm also on X and Letterboxd, so you can always find me. My movie takes are on Letterboxd and X. I usually am just retweeting people. I don't know. Or reposting people. I don't know what to call them anymore.
You can find me on Twitter/X at GRyfin3, GRYFUN3. You can find me on Letterboxd at GRyfin. You can find us at Cinema Debrief on Twitter and Instagram. You can find our email address, cinemadebriefpod@gmail.com. You can find that in the description of these episodes. And if you want access to our Discord, you can email us and let us know, or DM us on social media. Our Discord's a great community. I think Rhett gave a better spiel about it than I'll ever give.
Right.
But I will say there are a lot of lunch times where if you've got I would recommend turning notifications off.
Probably.
Personally, unless you get tagged in something. But there are a lot of lunch times where you just get notification after notification, and then it just stops. Yeah. And then you check the channel, and there's like 50 more messages because we've gotten into a giant fight in the movie room. But it's a fun time.
Discussion. I would call it a fight.
It's not like a serious fight. But
no, you're right.
Most of the time, it's nothing serious. But yeah, it's a fun time. And we'd love to have you guys in there. If you just email us, let us know. We'll see you guys next week for The Mandalorian and Grogu and Lone Wolf and Cub, Sword of Vengeance.